When you're choosing a headlamp for hiking and camping, two models that come up a lot are the Wuben H4 and the Nitecore NU25. Come on a hike with us on some of our favorite trails as we answer 13 questions to compare the Wuben H4 to the Nitecore NU25. Let's get started. Disclaimer: we did receive both of these lights for free, but we weren't paid or sponsored to make this video. We've tested both of them thoroughly on the trail, and all opinions are completely our own. Here's the first question while we hike Iceberg Lake Trail in Glacier National Park. What do you actually get in the box with each lamp? The Wuben H4 comes with the headlamp itself, the removable rechargeable battery, the head strap, and the usual paperwork. The Nitecore NU25 is simpler. You get the lamp with its built-in battery, a lightweight strap, and documentation. The Nitecore NU25 also includes a charging cable. Now that we know what is in the box, you may want to know, how do the straps on the Wuben and Nitecore headlamps compare? The Wuben H4 uses a thick anti-slip material that feels sturdy on your head and doesn't shift around much, even when you're moving quickly. The Nitecore NU25 takes the opposite approach with a minimalist strap. It's lightweight, has reflective thread that glows in the dark, and feels almost like wearing nothing at all. The trade-off is comfort and grip versus minimal weight and packability. Both do the job, but the Wuben strap feels stronger and more durable. Later we'll discuss battery life, but first, one of the most important questions to ask is, what about the beam and brightness on the Wuben H4 compared to the Nitecore NU25? Both headlamps offer spot and flood lighting, but they deliver it differently. The Wuben H4 can blast out up to 800 lumens in turbo mode and includes gesture sensing, so you can wave your hand to turn it on and off. The NU25 tops out at 400 lumens, but keeps things simple with 4 brightness levels, 400, 260, and 6 lumens. Both lamps include beacon and SOS features, but the H4 has a little more variety and its red beacon option, while the NU25 sticks with a white light location beacon and SOS mode. I don't want to forget, while you're watching, click the links in the video description to get updated pricing and discover detailed specifications and more about both of these headlamps. Okay, back to the list. We use our headlamps in severe conditions, which leads us to the next question. How durable are these headlamps? The Wuben H4 feels more rugged overall. It's built to an IP68 waterproof and dustproof rating and is impact resistant up to 1.2 meters. But the Nitecore NU25 still has good protection with an IP66 rating and 1 meter impact resistance. But it doesn't feel quite as bomb-proof in hand. Still, what will break most often is the part that connects the strap to the light. The Nitecore NU25 has the advantage. For our next set of questions, let's move on to the Ledges Trail in Cuyahoga Valley National Park. Every hiker is concerned about weight on the trail, and we're no different. Which is lighter, the Wuben H4 or the Nitecore NU25? The Wuben H4 is heavier, and you'll notice the extra weight if you're wearing it for hours on the trail. The NU25 at just 45 grams, or about 1.5 ounces, is feather light. For ultralight hikers, runners, or anyone who just wants to forget they're wearing a headlamp, the NU25 wins on comfort. When ounces matter, the NU25 wins in this category. We'll get back to the questions in a second, but are you liking this video? We share all of our gear reviews, hiking adventures, and camping tips in this way to help you plan your next adventure better. So subscribe today, and the next time you search YouTube to plan your next trip or gear purchase, our videos will be right at the top of your results. Some hikers want all the bells and whistles when it comes to their gadgets, so we must ask this question. Do the Nitecore NU25 or the Wuben H4 have red lights and special modes? The NU25 includes a red light for preserving night vision, which is handy around camp. The Wuben H4 also has a dedicated red beam, but it does have beacon and SOS functions in white light and can push a wide range of brightness levels for different situations. But what you may be more interested in is the motion sensor feature of the H4. When activated, you can turn the H4 lamp on and off with just the wave of your hand in front of the light. When you have the light mode you want, just press both buttons for 1.5 seconds and the motion sensor is activated for that light mode. Later we'll discuss how water and shockproof each light is, but we want to get the most out of our lights. So, how do the charging and batteries of the Nitecore NU25 and the Wuben H4 compare? The Wuben H4 uses a removable rechargeable battery pack that you charge via USB-C. That can be a hassle if you use the headlamp daily and also puts wear and stress on the cover latch. But the Nitecore NU25 uses a built-in 650 mAh battery with a USB-C charging port on the side of the lamp. It's more convenient day to day, but you can't swap batteries if it runs out. so once it's dead, you're waiting for it to recharge. But this is where the Wuben H4 has the advantage. If your rechargeable battery dies, you can swap it out for 3 AAA batteries, and the headlamp will still work. That's a huge advantage if you're in the backcountry and need light when there's no power source around. Speaking of batteries, what about runtime on the Nitecore NU25 and the Wuben H4? The Wuben H4 can run for about 2.3 hours on turbo, 3 hours at 300 lumens, 18 hours with its red light, and up to 33 hours at 15 lumens in white mode. The Nitecore NU25 gives you about 2 hours and 40 minutes at 400 lumens, and up to 45 hours on its lowest 6 lumen setting. Both are efficient, but they share a similar issue. When the battery gets low, the light doesn't really give you a warning, it just stops working. There's no gradual dimming or blinking indicator to let you know it's about to shut off, so that's something to keep in mind if you're relying on it and deep in the woods. Probably the only thing that could solve this problem is an audible beep when the battery gets to 20% or so, or just allow the light to continue running while the battery runs down. But do the Wuben H4 and Nitecore NU25 display the battery life at all? The Wuben H4 uses 4 dots showing more than 90%, 40%, 15%, and less than 15% power. The NU25 has 4 blue dots, each representing 25% of charge. They're easy to read when you remember to check them before heading out, but once you're on the trail, neither one gives you real-time low battery alert unless you manually check the life during your outing. Let's continue by hiking Endless Wall Trail in New River Gorge National Park and ask, are there any safety or usability differences between the Nitecore NU25 and the Wuben H4? The Nitecore NU25 includes a lockout mode that prevents it from accidentally turning on in your pack, which is a great feature for backpackers. The Wuben H4 doesn't have a lockout mode, but as we detailed earlier, it does include gesture sensing, which can be really convenient if you're wearing gloves or have your hands full. Since you are spending good money on these headlamps, you will want to know, how do the Wuben H4 and the Nitecore NU25 compare on water resistance, shock resistance, and beam distance? The Wuben H4 again has slightly higher specs with IP68 waterproofing and 1.2 meter impact resistance, plus a beam distance of about 60.5 meters. The Nitecore NU25 is IP66 impact resistant to 1 meter and reaches slightly farther at 64 meters. On paper, they're nearly tied for beam throw, but the H4 feels like the tougher build overall. But the NU25 with only 1 meter or 3 feet of impact resistance will theoretically have a harder time surviving if it falls off your head and hits a rock or other hard surface. Which one is better in real use on the trail? In practice, the Wuben H4 feels like a lamp you'd want for demanding conditions, long night hikes, or any trip where you need maximum brightness and durability. The Nitecore NU25 feels like the lamp you'd want for everyday hiking, lightweight trail running, or simple camp chores. Its lower weight and easier interface make it less of a hassle to use, even though it doesn't push out as much raw light. How do you decide between the Wuben H4 and the Nitecore NU25? Maybe you've already made your decision, but if you're an ultralight hiker, a runner, or someone who just wants a dependable light without a lot of fuss, the Nitecore NU25 is probably your best bet. If you want the toughest build, the brightest output, the flexibility to use AAA batteries in an emergency, and don't mind a bit of extra weight, the Wuben H4 is a strong choice. But also consider your activity. If you're day hiking and need something in an emergency, the NU25 is lighter and won't be noticeable if you don't need it. But if you hike early morning or late in the day, the more durable Wuben H4 would serve you better. Watch this next video to learn hidden secrets of multi-tools. But if you're still watching and found value in this video, please like, hype, and share so others can learn about these lights too.